Hello to all of you, and a very warm welcome. Some of you, it's extremely warm, hot. Summer to you all. It is I, the Oracle of Whimsy. You've been waiting for me, haven't you? It is our Sunday brunch get together, and I am broadcasting from somewhere live in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon, the greatest city that ever was, at least on the West Coast. I very much believe that, yes. Anyway, let's see how we're doing. Okay, let's go ahead. Oops, got to get my hat going on here. Let's start to give a warm welcome to all of you who were kind enough to join me today. Hi, Rhonda Shank. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Janice. Thank you, everybody who's become a member, who supports the channel. Much appreciated. Hi, Jiggy Pardo. Thank you for your love and support. Good morning to you. So how's the weather, everybody? What you eating? What you drinking? Hi, Lillian. Good to see you. This is our Sunday brunch show. We get together from the six corners of the earth, right? Six corners, four corners, but above and below. Um, yeah. So tell us what you're doing, what you eating, what you're drinking, where you're coming from. What's the weather like? Oh my God, I'm worried about the fires in Canada, and now evidently fires everywhere. Boy, now is the time for us to be planting trees. I actually need to put the tree thing up. I didn't get a chance to do that yet. Hi, Debbie Brady. Thank you so much also to Debbie Brady. She is our creative director. Much appreciation to her for being here. Also, special shout out to Melody Harmon. Thank you for helping out today. Good to see you. Hi, Claudia Veras. Thank you, Philarin Bungalin, for also helping out. Hi, Renee R. Great to see you here. Well, what is everybody up to? Fillerin's having a grass-fed hamburger. Okay, with coleslaw. Are you in a restaurant? Oh, with Ezekiel bread. Sounds like you probably made that yourself. Hydrate. Absolutely. We've got to hydrate. That is absolutely true. If you guys are going to give me half a second, I just need to take care of something. I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great if we took care of a little something that I didn't take care of before while you do your chit chats. Let's see if we can get the charity up and running. Sometimes, see, I'm doing now the restream, so it can be a bit of a challenge. Yes. So I think you guys decided you wanted to keep doing trees. Is that right? Okay. Um, I'll tell you, during this fire season, I put the trees back up for you. So the charity is AmericanForest.org. If you'd like to participate, for every dollar that you donate, if any part of the brunch get together, if you enjoy this, for every dollar you donate, 100% will go to AmericanForest.org, and they plant trees in North America. United States, and I believe Canada and Mexico as well. Some of the amazing programs that they've done is planting trees to help with the monarch butterfly migration, etc. So, uh, yeah, a dollar goes a long way with them. Oh, Catherine S. She's having a blueberry lemon scone. Yummy, yum, yum. Well, that sounds tasty. Christine Brooks, hi. Hi, Yolanda. Great to see you here. Hi, Pomona Remembers. Coffee. You know what? I always start with a coffee. Hi, John Weber, psychic extraordinaire. Hey, my best girlfriend ever, Kay Travel, is in the house. She's having rice curry gravy. She can cook. I've been over to her house for lunch. That girl can cook. Hi, Salty Chip. Oh, thank you, Philerin, for that lovely donation. You've given birth to 20 trees, and I hope it didn't hurt too much. Lemon character bowing his head while spreading hearts. Oh, because I can't see. Anyway, thank you for giving birth to 20 trees. Much gratitude. So, you guys want to talk hot topics and what's going on in terms of the news? It looks like, do you guys want to talk about Donald Trump first? Is that what we're here to talk about? He got the letter. Yes, he got the letter. So, let's talk about the remote views regarding the letter that Trump received. Y'all know about this, right? Yes, no? How could you forget? You've been waiting too long. Yeah, so he's a target. Now, when we're talking about the plot, there's a couple of interesting things that are going on. So let's gather round, get your coffees together. It's time to talk remote views. So, the Trump letter. One of the things that's come out is that Jack Smith was hired by DOJ to be neutral and to investigate how January 6th happened. But one of the things we have to understand when we look at January 6th is how organized it was. You can't tell me that something that was that well organized didn't happen under the direction of people in positions of power in Homeland Security. Would you agree? How do you run an organization like that, an operation like that, and not have Homeland Security be involved in it? And so, again, it always goes back to the same investigation, that this investigation really isn't about Trump. Trump didn't exist in a vacuum, he existed with the help of thousands of other people. And so that is the real investigation. How could this type of infiltration happen so deeply and so extensively under this administration? And the answer is that it had been going on for a very long time. And if you go back to the remotes we've talked about, it was Barack Obama, President Obama, 44, in 2010, they were actively investigating this type of corruption, infiltration that was going on, sleeper cells that were having an influence on people that were in positions of power. We've talked about Charles Flynn, Michael Flynn, and how they were both compromised. What's amazing to me is the fact that a lot of these people are not in jail. So that goes back to the target letter. I think we have to view it that Trump is the fall guy for an operation that is much bigger than Trump, and that these folks got together and collectively decided to dump Trump. Does that mean that the organization that led to the creation of January 6th has been dissolved? Absolutely not. It means only this, that they've decided to dump Trump. But the Heritage Foundation is still in operation. The people that supported the Heritage Foundation, the dark money is still out there, and they're still actively participating in political maneuverings, dark money being linked back to foreign sources, etc. So the only thing I take away from the fact that Trump got a target letter and other people didn't is the fact that maybe they flipped and decided to dump everything on Trump, so he becomes the fall guy as a way of them saving and preserving themselves. But I think the deeper investigation has always been, what kind of networks are we looking at, and just how deeply do they go inside of our intelligence agency? How could this have happened? How could the FBI have been sleeping on January 6th? And the answer is that they weren't sleeping, they were actively participating. He got a target letter means that they've decided to make him the fall guy. They've gotten everything they could out of him. He's an old, washed up, thank you for helping us get rid of Roe v. Wade. Thank you for helping us with Citizens United. Thank you for helping us throw out, protection for students from fraud, discrimination, affirmative action, and all the other things that they were able to achieve. Now they're going after Social Security. They're still there. Nothing's happened to them. They haven't left. And so the fact that the other people didn't get the target letter tells me that they flipped. Do people have I'm going to go ahead and take my hat off. Do people have opinions about that? Do people want to talk about this? Because that's the only conclusion I can come to based on the remotes and based on the work that we've done up to this point. And that bothers me because we've done enough remote viewing to know we've got a problem in terms of human trafficking, drug trafficking out of Florida, international waters, powerful people who became billionaires from questionable money sources, Cayman Islands, we've talked about that. So who is Trump? A 78-year-old washed up guy that served them, and now they can simply find a younger compromised person. Discuss while I sip my coffee. Are we on to something? Is that the interpretation of the target letter? Is that why Trump keeps asking? Because for Trump, it means, oh, you sold me out. Why not sell him out? He's old and washed up. Why not sell him out? Yeah. Okay. We can blitz on it later. Absolutely. Yeah. And wanting to nullify is, they have to make an effort. But in terms of the money, the Harlan Crows, I think they're done with him. They got what they wanted. Look at what they've achieved. All right. So the next remote view I want to talk about has to do with what's going on in Belarus right now. We need to talk about this because this is something that I feel this community was more prepared for than any other community. Not that I don't love my fellow psychics, I do. We're all friends, but I think I think Putin prepared us for this, what's going down right now in the Black Sea. Would you agree? So so basically, Lukashenko is now saying that the old Wagner is gone. There's a new Wagner. The old guy got sent to Africa. Remember, he told us he had to be in St. Petersburg to work out his passports. It took his pet, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so he's going to Africa. They don't want him in Russia. I think they plan on taking him out, but first they're going to send him off to Africa. The rest of Wagner, some of them got arrested. Some people have been killed. Some people that supported Wagner were assassinated. Some of them are arrested, like the right-wing alt-right guy who's in jail right now. Can't remember his name, who is telling Putin he didn't go far enough, et cetera, et cetera. According to Lukashenko, the Wagner people are getting restless. They're making him uncomfortable. They've gone to Belarus and now they want to attack. They want to do a first strike against Poland. Poland is a NATO country. So what's happened to Putin is exactly what Putin didn't want to have happen to him, right? He lost all of his allies, right? Who were his five main allies? China said, "Hold up, we want this contract, man. We want the rebuild contract, and if you use nuclear weapons, we're out." He threatened nuclear weapons. China's out. What happened to Turkey? They supported Sweden and Finland, and then the grain deal happened. So now Turkey is threatening his ally. He was doing stuff with Turkey. Now Turkey's saying, Erdogan's saying, "Listen, buddy, you better give the wheat," right? So now he's pissed off Turkey. What about Syria? Same thing. We need the wheat. What about Iran? We're out. We're not giving you any more weapons. Finally, what about Modi in India? It's falling apart, right? So what's happened is a lot of the main supporters of Putin are out because it's economically not feasible for them. And they're looking at starvation potentially in North Africa if the grain can't get out. People can't afford higher prices. And so Putin has become increasingly isolated, more and more desperate. He's threatening to attack people in the Black Sea, which is what he talked about. And we're going to start seeing a lot more concentration of tensions, I think, in Belarus as Poland, they're both threatening first strike. Thing is, if Poland does a first strike, that's it. It means NATO is involved in the war. What I had said in the past was that if Putin didn't withdraw, it could get to a point where NATO will march on Moscow. And if they don't watch themselves in Poland, that's precisely what's going to happen, because at this point, Russia has no allies. They've really, Putin has really ruined them in terms of just support from the world. And I think Putin runs the risk of being assassinated or removed sooner rather than later, which is basically what President Biden has said. He's not long for this world. What's scary is who will be the new leadership. But I can't imagine, with their resources being so minimal and the fact that they now are getting no military aid from outside of Russia, it's going to be very hard for them to continue on. But these threats against Poland, I don't think it. I can't imagine how Russia can survive this at this point. It's uh, and they're killing their own. They're now killing their own people. Wagner is killing, and they're assassinating their own. Now British intelligence, like we said, they told us to give them 3 weeks. They 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 didn't leave me with egg on my face, which you know, when you get a voice in your head saying this is British intelligence, you don't want them giving you egg on the face when they say give us 3 weeks. So that's the other thing, right? British intelligence has come out and has been openly encouraging people to inform, make a deal, right? All right, so that's everything I have for you. I hope you enjoyed the remotes today. Things are moving in a positive direction. The student loan debt is getting taken care of. They started a SAFE program to protect you if you sign into that. The government will have to honor the new contract if you do have federal loans. Do your best, pay what you can. The loans will be forgiven. You will not be chased into Gehenna when you die. We have a good president. So it's like a fight between good and bad, right? But good is winning, right? God willing. All right. Wow, those were some intense remotes. So, yeah, whenever people are ready, we can do the empath prayer. We'll do a collective reading. I want to also give gratitude and a shout out while we're taking a break to the amazing Ellen Archer. The author, Ellen Archer, if she's watching, she wrote Stay Sober and Save the World the Cave Woman Way. This is our book selection for the month of July. As many of you know, we have started a book club for the whimsical ones. We share books with people who are part of our community, and Ellen Archer is very much a part of our community. We're going to be interviewing her at 6 p.m. Tuesday after Taco Tuesdays with the actor Chuck Dransfield co-hosting. So I hope you'll all be able to join us. But I've been making copious notes, so please join us at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. If you haven't had a chance to pick up the book, you can get it on Amazon. Still plenty of time to read it. It's one of those books you won't want to put down. And it really made me think, the conversation she has. It makes me think we all have an inner cave woman, and that ultimately she's just talking to a core part of herself. But I don't want to give too much away if you haven't read it yet. It's really good writing. All right. So, yeah. So, are we ready to do the empath's prayer? Is everybody ready for that? Any announcements I need to make for people? How do you guys like my, this is the kitchen of the witch's den. You know, we have the kitchen and then I have the library. I want one of these, by the way. This is how I want to live. If somebody, you know, I can afford to buy a little land. If somebody could make me this home, that would be great. With like recycle. I want this. I want to live like this. This is my dream. And with lots of land to grow medicinal plants. I want to be a witch. I want to be, but not a bad witch, but you know, like, don't. Oh, by the way, do you see Flopsy is washed and Flopsy's been redeemed. Mila is having a nap, so she's not fighting to get Flopsy. Yes, I love this. I love The Witch's Den. Absolutely. Hmm. Well, let's do the empath's prayer, shall we? Without further ado, let me grab my large cards today. Would y'all like that? Those of you who like to see the big cards? I gotta get them over here. Excuse me. Medicine Witch. Ooh, my dream calling. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. Amen, everyone. This is the collective reading, and we give it to you, and if it applies to you, receive it, and if it doesn't, just pass it down the brunch table to the next person. It may speak to them. And that's how we do a collective. Like a really great brunch. Let's see. What is going on? Where we are at right now as a collective. This is a time when things are changing very, very rapidly. The world is changing very rapidly, and it is a time when we want to have cooler heads prevail. It's a time when you really want to keep your head about you when everyone is losing theirs. That is what this time is about. So, the base of the reading is temperance. Try and live your life as moderately as you can during the times that are crazy. It reminds me of that saying, chop wood, carry water. You know, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. No matter what you see happening around you, take care of yourself and never forget that you have to take care of yourself as your number one priority. The world could be falling apart. Things could be crazy right now, but you must first every day focus on yourself. The internal world is what's going to help you get through. The base of the matter for you is temperance in all things. Do not seek extremism in your life. Seek balance. Balance and healthy living. Things are dying and ending. We see a world where what was is no more. We can't hold on to the past. It needed to end. Bad things are coming to an end, and hopefully we can have good things happen. But the Knight of Pentacles moves slowly, and often is a symbol that the ways of the past have come and gone. And where we find ourselves now is a place of wishing. What we want, we can have, but we must be precise with the universe. Don't be ashamed of what you want, because it's very important for you to honor it. Understand that your purpose in life is to construct heaven in this dimension. If you understand the natural order of mysticism, you understand your true calling in this dimension. It is not to be in hell. It is not to be tortured. It is not to be punished. You are here to construct something, and that something is to raise the vibration so that you have brought joy and happiness into this world. And so we always ask everyone the fundamental question: why are you here? Are you here to make music? Are you here to be a painter, an artist, a teacher, a writer? Are you here to plant and save the ecosystem? Hopefully. But ultimately, what's the plan? How are you going to be living your happiest life? Because if you are not on a track to be unbelievably happy, then you have missed the purpose of your life. The wish card comes to you in the first house. This is enlightenment. This is what it is to be awakened. Construct the banquet and invite others to join you. He's happy because his joy was to feed the world. So he sets the banquet. He sets the table. He knows his function in the world is to set the table of abundance, and then the party starts. This is why you incarnated into this world, not to suffer, but to make a banquet. Your crossing card at this time is the construction itself. Don't be bogged down by the details of what you are constructing. The fun is in making mistakes. Laugh about the mistakes. We started a production company. Debbie is the most incredible talent manager alive. And we just decided we're going to do it. Hey, let's do a production company. We are constructing it because it's fun, because we wanted to, because we like making comedies, and because we can, and because it doesn't cost any money. We're using an iPhone 14, right? We can and we want to. We're having fun. Three of Pentacles. Find your bliss. Find your banquet and construct it. You must construct it. What is above you at this time? Anger, abuse, and psychosis. An inverted King of Swords is on top of you. This means that the world is facing an issue of boundaries. We've talked about issues of boundaries in the past. Wands as a suit. If you're learning about suits, the wands teach us about boundaries, right? Swords are about truth. They can also be military cards. They can be icy and cold because they're not fluffed with anything warm or fluffy. It's just the cold, icy sword of truth. When it's inverted, it can be malevolent or violent. And I think we definitely feel that the world is on fire. We feel this malevolence all around us, on top of us. The Harlan Crows that have decided that they're going to be king of the world, right? On top of their Titanic, right? King of the world, and now the boats are sinking, right? The boats are sinking because the feds took them, right? So much for Harlan Crow being the king of the world. And then we started going into Harlan Crow's taxes and found a bunch of money linked now they're finding human trafficking, slavery, etc. in the Cayman Islands being linked back to these mega yachts. So family secrets also of the psychosis. So we have a network of people that don't want to give up the power, and it's a boundary issue for us. New jobs and opportunities await you, and so do creative opportunities. You genuinely want to give back to the world. but often feel that you have nothing to give, which creates unhappiness and depression. What can I give to the world? If I feel I have nothing to give, then my life has no meaning, and then I want to not live anymore. The understanding here is you have something to give to the world, and that thing you have to give in the world is the thing that brings you your bliss. Your opposition at this time, inverted King of Wands, people who have issues of boundaries. Remember, we talked about boundaries, hopes and fears, lovers, that others can come across and communicate with us effectively, that we can reach agreement from the other side. And then the final outcome is Ace of Swords, which is you will have victory in your life if you find out what it is you truly want out of life and pursue it with discipline. You will have what you want. But you must also accept, not be naive, and accept the fact that there are unfortunately violent and aggressive forces out there, which we will continue to have to fight in the coming years. Take heart, though, we will win in the end, with an Ace of Swords as the final outcome. And that is your reading. I hope it gave you clarity for your week. Thank you. Well, that was a lot of information, wasn't it? So without further ado, there's a lot, wasn't it? Yeah. So it looks like Joel Tilson is not here today. He must be off doing something much more important than hanging with us. But we will do our best to blitz, blitz, blitz away when we get the order. If you use a red question mark, it really helps me see the questions. Debbie Brady is here also. If oh, Joel is here? I didn't see him. I can't live without my Joel. I need you, Joel. Okay, let's see. We got some questions going on already. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked the reading. John Weber. Hey, my guy. I love John. Hi, John. Paul Ron's. Oh, Paul Ryan, is that what you meant? Office burned down. Holy crap. So there goes any evidence to convict or clear him of wrongdoing or arson. Oh, you mean Ron Paul. Are you saying Ron Paul's office is burnt down? Holy crap. Let's find out about the arson of Ron Paul's office. Dang, buddy. I didn't know about that. Ron Paul's offices. Holy crap. They didn't confiscate directly all of the phones from Trump. They took his passports, gave him back, etc. But they had people volunteer to hand their phone records in as part of a plea deal. So that was how they were able to get some of the records from Trump, is that the people that cooperated, John. So in the case of somebody like Ron Paul or people's stuff burning down, I wouldn't worry about it, because they can go to the people, they can go to the cell phones of the people that spoke, and that's how they're constructing it. Ace of Swords in the first house would indicate that the investigation into January 6th is going very well. And I would argue that they were able to retrieve all the records. So, if it goes back to Guy Way blowing up his offices in his apartment on the 17th floor in Manhattan to destroy all of the documents. And now they're taking all of these cryptocurrency accounts. They don't know the identity. When I went in as a remote viewer, I found one account that was worth $23 million, but nobody could identify who the account belonged to. So when I go in to what the feds are in as a remote viewer, when I'm asked to do that, the thing that blows my mind is just how much of this stuff we're taking, but no one's claiming it. We're taking cars, we're taking boats, questionable land deals. Uh, we're just hauling off tons of stuff. So blowing stuff up is not going to help these people. From the only thing it's doing is that we don't know who owns this stuff. The amount of money and crypto, it's almost it's not even real stuff. It's just crazy. You can see here the sword of truth over the feds. Within the next 6 months, they're pretty. I mean, this is a huge bust. Florida is heavily involved. Of course, Florida wants to protect Trump because Trump protected them from federal oversight. It's a slow, methodical investigation going on. But you have a page of swords as your final outcome, which leads me to think that the truth is coming out and that there's nothing that they can do to stop it. I think that with these cards and the way things are looking and the stuff that went down in Florida, I think that when this thing busts open, it's going to be so huge. Just look at the amount of boats they took. And y'all know what the significance of the boats was. The trafficking, the drugs, the private meetings. Oh, it's so over. And I'll tell you something, I've never seen a more powerful president than our current president, and he's going to get reelected. I'll tell you how I know. Look at this. Power over the presidency. Look at this. This is Joe, the president. Power is with the president. The power is with the president. This guy is so damn powerful. Biden, he knows Washington inside and out. This man, Ace of Swords, he's got this guy. He's more powerful than the Supreme Court because he knows what the hell he knows what he's doing. Look at him. Within 6 months, look at the president. Within 6 months, this investigation, it had international. They bust it, comes to an end within 6 months. Look at this karma on this international thing they take down. These cards with the president. Oh my God, I love it. And then with Joe, the truth comes out. Look at that, reelected, employed, 1 year, hot dog. That's how I knew he's going to get reelected. Woo! 1 year, job offer. Hello. Isn't that great? I love my life. It sucks. I'm not going to lie, because some of y'all are new remote viewers. So how many of you had crappy childhoods and now you're in training to get certified HCRV? It sucked, Dr. Anderson. I want to redo. I'm telling you, it gets so good. It's the early training. I know how you feel. But once you get the training and you're able to do this for a living, your life's going to be gravy after that. That's what you got to tell people. Like, yeah, it sucked. Most remote viewers have like childhoods from hell, but then we grow up and we have really great lives. Because we have fun, because it's fun. Being a remote viewer is a blast. Oh my God, yes. Saudi, Russian, Chinese. Well, I think it goes back to what Malcolm Nance has said, right? Malcolm Nance has discussed this, and that is that it's all about the Cayman Islands, right? Like he came in, he talks about coming in on a boat, which was with the CIA or something, and he goes and has a drink, and he's sitting and there are like luxury yachts in the Cayman Islands. But do you think that they were investigating slavery and human trafficking? No, they ignored it. They were interested in they were interested in drug sales and warlords, right? People that were buying weapons illegally. That was the main focus of why he was in the Cayman Islands. But what a lot of people don't know about the Cayman Islands is that the islands are there. They have slavery on the islands. And the reason they're able to get away with it is because people get paid off. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that, given those cards, these horrible, evil people who have used their power to do such terrible things. It's going to be interesting to see how this all goes down in the next 6 months with those types of cards. I think Joe Biden is like the best president we've ever had. I do. I mean, I didn't even know I was defrauded. I until I got the letter. I was like, I knew people were suing. I just was living my life. I thought I owed 360,000. I didn't know how I owed three, but they told me I owed $360,000. It was like, and they kept delaying when it was going to get forgiven. I just believed it. I don't know. I guess Sally Mae and Navient had to pay. How much did they get penalized? Billions for defrauding the students, and then they took the money and paid and said, "Today's your lucky day, Doc. You just got $70,000 discount on your education." But I think that some of the money actually came from Navient and Sally Mae. Well, they stole the money from the so they took it back, and yeah, he's a great president. No, I thought I owed 360,000, even though I borrowed something like 180 and gave back seven. I don't know. You know, I think so many of us have been defrauded so many times. You start to get used to it, and that it shouldn't be like that in this country. Citizens should be protected. All right. Question coming from Madrid, Madrid. Hi, Madrid, Madrid. She wants to know he, she, they. Can you remote view Texas Abbott? Oh, goodness gracious. When will he go down? Yes. Let's take a look at Texas Abbott. We do know that the Department of Justice has asked Homeland Security to look into the kidnappings for possible prosecution because I did go in and look at those documents for you guys. So it was referred back to Majorca for criminal investigation, and an ongoing investigation is happening. Can these people be prosecuted? The fact that they opened up an investigation, DOJ, tells me that something is happening and that they could face prosecution. But let's take a look. The investigation's moving very quickly. Mayorkas was denied access to information. They attempted to block him and prevent him I'm in the records. I'll read them to you. Basically, what Mayorkas is saying is that he was pushed out of Homeland. So when he showed up, there were people in Homeland that didn't respect him, they didn't respect his position, and that he was denied access to documents inside Homeland by people inside Homeland. So he went in and they basically said, well, we're not going to do what you tell us to do, and we don't have to. It became this weird dynamic, but I'm the head of Homeland, so what? So there became this weird thing where obstruction started to happen. And this is not public, but I assume it's going to become public because that's how this works. We don't understand how it works, but we know it usually breaks within 3 weeks of us getting the information. So he's being obstructed from within Homeland, and it's because they don't want him to have access to all of these programs and stuff that they were up to. So the situation was moving within Homeland, but you had Mayorkas on the outside of it. Isn't that crazy? So there are people from within Homeland that are trying to keep him from deconstruct. They constructed stuff within Homeland, and they're afraid he's going to deconstruct it, and that's why they're sabotaging him. He's the feds. Holy, don't you find this exhausting? They don't want to cooperate. Look at this. No, you may not have access to those documents. No, you may not have access to that department. No, you may not have access to those files. How can you shut the head of Homeland out from I mean, this is looking really crazy. Seven of Cups, gaslit. Mayorkas is gaslit, refusing. He's being blocked out of policies by his own homeland, by what's going on in Texas. Being wooed in their cups, crazy emotional energy, la la land. This is what Trump did with his legal team. Somebody from within is going to start cooperating. There are going to be snitches, basically. FBI snitches. You want to see what that looks like? FBI snitches. So in answer to the question you're asking about when will Texas Abbott be taken out, that gives you a glimmer of what's going on inside Homeland with Mayorkas and the investigation, and the fact that they had constructed so much crazy stuff inside the department, and now they're blocking the doors and not allowing him to get in and see what they've constructed, so that they can build a case against Homeland. But it appears that inside Homeland, there are people that are cooperating and sneaking information to the feds. That's how compromised Homeland is. It's actually slowed down the investigation that Mayorkas is doing from within. There are people in positions of power within Homeland that are obstructing him, and they need to be removed, and they need to face criminal trial. That's what it's really starting to look like with those cards. Okay, so Dan Wootrin has been accused of sex harassment and catfishing for sex pics. The Sun promoted his and paid off his accusers. Oh, so Dan Wootrin is in trouble, is he? Who's Dan Wootrin now? Is he a comedian, actor, politician? I'm addicted to this chai I bought. Almond and coconut milk, sweetened with and vanilla. That's all it is. There's no tea in it, but they're called, well, some spice, but no tea. So it's caffeine free. I can't stop drinking this. I just love the flavor of sweet, milky almondy. Sweet, milky almondy. I don't know who that is. Dan, I don't know who Dan Wootrin is. It goes back. I'll tell you though, just because of what we just found out when we went in there. This is what we find with security, right? Is how compartmentalized it is. It's so compartmentalized that the head of the security team, what are you working on over there? You don't need to see this department. Yes, I do need to. What have you been up to? That's what's going on. So now they've got to get special power from within DOJ to access the department. That's how crazy it's gotten. Yeah. You heard it here first. Well, I guess Mayor, give it 3 weeks. You know how this works. And thank you to the British officer from MI6 for coming forward 3 weeks later, the head of MI6. So I didn't have to eat crow about the informant. Joel Tilson asked, Wilbur Ross, will he be indicted for his corruption as Commerce Secretary? Okay, thank you. I just needed to know. Oh my goodness. Commerce Secretary. Wilbur Ross. Wilbur Ross is leaving. He's not staying. He has to leave. He's facing problems. It's going to happen very quickly. By August, we could see legal action taken against him, and he had help, and he's going to have to defend himself pretty vigorously. But he will cooperate because he had help from within the feds, based on what they're saying. Yeah, you can see here, he's having to leave by August. You can see the feds, 10 of cups. This was inverted originally, which leads me to think there was some corruption within uh, the feds at the time. And you can see here, 7 of cups due to an addiction or seduction of a cult. He was seduced and confused by a cult. You can see here he has to bring tons of legal information. Wilbur Ross with the 10 of Wands and 6 of Pentacles. He's going to be shown grace in exchange for cooperation. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people are asking about Travis King. Evidently, he had mental health problems. He's the American who, I guess, he crossed into North Korea. He was supposed to go back to the United States, was facing possible legal action. And instead of getting on the plane, he did a tour of Korea, South Korea. And then when they got to the border, he jumped off and ran to the other side of the border. So I think he was showing mental health problems, which is why he was dismissed. So maybe schizophrenia. And I really wish maybe the military didn't know how to handle it. If you see somebody having mental health problems. Private Travis King. They questioned him, they interrogated him, they tried to determine who he was, why he came over, and they determined that he is not a spy and that he's mentally ill. And they actually don't want to kill him. They want to potentially negotiate to turn him back over. But they quickly determined that this guy is not all there. His life quickly changed. 10 of Cups would indicate that he's probably fine. What's interesting is an Ace of Swords and a 9 of Pentacles leads me to think that they feel like maybe they could negotiate with this guy. He was concerned about 10 of Swords, but 6 of Wands comes in. They think that they're going to hold on to him. The Americans want him. But I don't see him being killed or anything. I think they think he's crazy. I don't see death. Concern with the 10 of Swords. It's more like they're holding him and they're trying to figure out why. And look, the fact that he defected to North Korea, he could be used as a political tool, particularly if he suffered from mental health problems. Then they can advertise this soldier was suffering from medical conditions and he came to North Korea for help. And no, we're not going to give him back to you because you people didn't treat him right. So now he's under the safety of the dear and glorious leader. So it kind of takes on that feel. Wow, what an intense day of readings. I just want to check really closely. Oh, he was groomed online? I don't know. It looked to me like it was very impulsive. A lot of people are worried about the Florida school system, evidently, from what Debbie's telling me. It sounds crazy, the Florida school system. I would not raise a child. I would probably, oh gosh. See, if everybody leaves, then Florida becomes a psych hospital. So you don't want good people to leave Florida, but maybe I think we brought federal troops into Alabama the last time we had a problem with this kind of behavior. So maybe we need to bring federal troops into Florida. That's where my head is going. Um, this is so insane what they're doing. But you know how people are reactionary. So by trying to whitewash the history, slavery, etc. Now everyone's going. It's going to cause everybody to want to learn more about the subject, which may actually be a good thing. Also, but while we take a second to a break, I just want to give a shout out to the great and powerful Debbie Brady. She designed our merch. Another great way of supporting our channel is we do offer merch for people, and you can be the cool kid on the block because you know who the Oracle of Whimsy is. So that's why you decided to buy the merch so that we could continue to offer you this wacky channel. Of course, Debbie is a great artist, great designer. Yeah, so thank you for the merch. And also to those of you who became members, membership. We're very, very grateful to all of you. Again, it's another wonderful way where we support the channel. We're able to support the channel. Much gratitude to you all. I love these t-shirts. I feel a little weird wearing one with my picture on it, but there are other designs. I'm going to order a few more. I like the alien stuff quite a bit. I think it'd be fun if we did some that are just based on other characters, like where's Flopsy? Where's Flopsy hiding? This poor creature, Flopsy, has gone through quite a bit. If it was sentient, it would probably be pretty confused right about now because my cat and I fight for this stuffed animal. Well, wouldn't you if you had such a beautiful stuffed animal in your home? But I think Flopsy should have it. Where's Flopsy? Yeah. Yeah, Mila. Mila's on the t-shirts. Got to get her own photo shoot. Yeah. Okay. All right, the Florida school system. Oh, what was the name of the aliens? I went to the Greys because Bleslow is a guy who started communicating with the Grey species, and the Greys evidently have been here for millions of years. I mean, a lot of people think that Sasquatch, is that what it's called? A lot of people think Sasquatch looks very similar to Australopithecus afarensis, which lived about 2.7 million years ago, 2.75. And that discovery was called Lucy, right? They called the discovery Lucy. So a lot of people think the Greys are a species that have been here for millions of years doing genetic research. And the whole connection between UFOs and Sasquatch is because of this genetic research that this beings, and they live here now. So they're not coming from somewhere else. They live here. They live here. They have bases here. They've been here for millions of years. Many of them have been born here. So when the film footage came out, the real film footage, not the fake film footage that was released probably by the CIA or whatever, but there's real film footage out of Vegas. So we decided to call the Greys Homo glaucus, which would be the technical name of the Grey species, would be Homo glaucus. If you were an anthropologist, because Homo, because they're bipedal, they look human-like, seem to be a species of human, and glaucus because they're gray-blue in appearance. But it goes back to that whole theory that they're a type of human because of all this genetic research. So Bleslow started praying to them and asking them for things, and they said, yes, we will help humans but you have to ask us. So, as a joke to my friend 1111, I said, well, I'm going to pray to them to remove my student debt. That was Tuesday night. Thursday, I got the email saying my debts were gone. My student debts were gone. So the timing was weird, right? So because I thought, well, that's kind of weird that they forgave the debts. But then what was funny was uh, the timing. It was just funny. But they're the Greys, and they're here to protect the planet because they live here too. That's their response. Well, what do you want to save the planet for? Because we live here. We have bases underwater. We have bases all over the place. North Pole, where there's less diseases, less risk of being exposed to viruses from humans, right? So they go to remote areas. That's the theory of alien life. They chose places like the North Pole and the Atlantic because there's no disease, and they're isolated, and they're not going to be disturbed by. But that makes complete sense because that's what anthropologists think when we look at island populations. They don't have exposure to the same diseases as the rest of the population because they're an isolated island population. It's very cool. And now they're finding these weird spaceship-like things on the Antarctic. Well, what's interesting is that now our own community is saying, like our own scientific community is saying there's validity to it. The courts are coming in regarding the issue of students and attempting to throw out history. It's going to fall apart very quickly, the Florida educational system, partly because of teacher and student walkouts. They are not going to participate. It becomes a standstill between two groups and results in possibly going all the way to the courts, because you've got military action here, which means that the National Guard could be brought in. I'm not kidding. If I had the power to do this and I was Joe, I would send the National Guard. I would take this very seriously, just like they took it seriously in Alabama when they started trying to force black students. No, we're coming in. I told you, they're going to freaking bring the military. This is the future of Florida schools. This is the sort of justice. Military is the outcome. Do you think our president's going to put up with that crap? Hell no. Inverted two of cups. That's Joe Biden's response. Hell no. Two of cups inverted. Ain't going to happen, babe. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what Florida's doing. Open your eyes. They refuse to see it. It's all falling apart by August. The teachers are going to walk. I'm telling you, the teachers are not going to teach. You don't have a school system, honey. Here come the feds. You don't have money to teach. They pulled the money. Good for you, Biden. This isn't the only thing he can do with the Department of Education. Wow. Zero tolerance. That's Biden's response. King of Swords is the military. I'm not surprised at all. That's what it's. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck surviving the tower. Teaching to who? Which students are going to show up? Which parent would hate their child so much to subject them to that? Kids getting shot to death, being taught racism. There's no damn way in hell, if I loved my child, I would let my child be exposed to that. Oh my God. Okay, one more question. Yes, Trump, the fall guy. Dang. Well, he's 78. I mean, also, he's not easy to control. He's kind of, yeah, Trump is out. Let's do one quick throw on it. Wasn't this fun today? Did you guys have fun? I had fun. No, he's facing, he already lost. He's contained by August. It's already over. Courts. This is Jack Smith. His opposition wins 6-month courts. It's over. Oh, I always thought he would be somehow contained by August. Mm. All right. This was amazing, you guys. Oh my God, I had so much fun. I had so much fun. All right. If you're trying to get in for a reading, please reach out to me. You can find my information below. Also, Debbie's been kind enough. Did you all have a fun brunch? Was this nice? I enjoyed being with you, and I hope you enjoyed being with me. All right. Take care, everyone. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you. We will see you next time. I think Tuesday, Taco Tuesdays with the amazing Chuck Dransfield. I am so excited about that show. We have so much to talk about. He's going to be live from Los Angeles, and there's a lot going on. So I know you won't want to miss Taco Tuesdays, 5 p.m., July 25th. And at 6 p.m., we will have the amazing Ellen Archer on speaking about her book. All right, be well, everyone. We'll see you next time. Take care.